There is a man I want you to picture. He is 83 years old. He walks into a room slowly, deliberately, like he has nowhere to be and nowhere he would rather not be either. Women notice him. Not because of what he is wearing, not because he looks young, but because of something that has no name and yet every person in that room can feel. That thing is what this video is about. Most men have been taught the wrong story their entire lives. They have been told that attraction is about looks, about age, about the right jawline, the right hairline, the right decade of life. And so they spend their 20s anxious, their 30s panicking, their 40s quietly giving up, and their 50s, 60s, 70s completely invisible to themselves. They stop trying, they stop building, they stop being interesting, and then they wonder why no woman looks at them with anything resembling desire. That is not a mystery, that is a result. If you have been watching this channel for a while, you already know that most of what you were taught about attraction is a distraction. And if you are new here, let me just say, this is a space for men who want truth, not comfort. Subscribe if that is what you came here for, not for me, for yourself. Now, let us get into what is actually happening. Here is the misconception that is quietly destroying men of every age. They believe attraction is about winning a biological lottery. That if you were not born with the right features or hit your peak at the right time, the game is over. Some men reading dating advice online absorb this framework and it slowly becomes their identity. I am not attractive enough. I am too old. I missed my window. And the tragedy is not even that they believe it. The tragedy is that they stop moving because of it. That is resignation dressed up as realism. Here is the hard truth. Attraction, real attraction, the kind that actually lasts longer than a first glance, is not primarily visual. It is psychological. It is emotional. It is about the experience a woman has when she is in the presence of a man. And that experience is built from things that have nothing to do with the year you were born. Think about what a woman actually feels around a man who knows who he is. A man who does not need her approval to feel okay. A man who has opinions he has actually thought through. A man who has been through real difficulty and came out with perspective rather than bitterness. A man who listens not to respond, but to understand. A man who moves through the world like he belongs in it. That feeling has no expiration date. Now here is where it gets psychologically interesting. Most men who feel invisible to women are not actually invisible. They have made themselves invisible. They have slowly over years abandoned the things that made them magnetic. They stopped having goals that excited them. They stopped taking care of their bodies, not because the body does not matter, but because they stopped respecting themselves enough to maintain it. They stopped being curious about the world. They stopped having a perspective. They became background noise in their own lives. And here is the root of all of it. Most men do not lose their attractiveness to women. They lose their relationship with themselves. That is the real collapse. Everything else is just a visible symptom. When a man stops investing in who he is, his thinking, his discipline, his physical health, his emotional depth, he becomes dull. Not old, dull. And dull is the one thing that is actually unattractive at any age. Let me tell you about the real cost of buying into the age myth. It is not just that you miss out on connection with women, though you will. The deeper cost is this: you give yourself permission to stop growing. You use age as the excuse that lets you off the hook for every area where you have gone soft. You are not too old, you are too comfortable. Those are not the same thing. Men who believe they are past their prime stop lifting. They stop reading. They stop building. They stop initiating. They stop dressing with care. They stop pursuing anything with genuine hunger. And slowly, all the aliveness drains out of them. What remains is a man who is technically alive, but functionally invisible to women, to himself, to the world. That is the real tragedy of the age myth. It does not just limit your dating life, it limits your life. Now I want to shift your frame completely. What if everything you think of as the disadvantage of aging is actually something a younger man cannot offer? Think about it seriously. A man in his 50s, 60s, 70s, who has built himself properly, who has real accomplishments, real calm, real stories, real perspective, carries something a 25-year-old genuinely cannot fake: depth, Presence, security, that settled, unshakable groundedness that only comes from having lived through things and not broken. Women, regardless of age, are drawn to men who feel safe. Not safe as in boring, safe as in solid. Safe as in this man knows who he is and nothing external is going to destabilize him. That quality does not come from youth. It comes from character built over time. The man I described at the beginning of this video, the 83-year-old, he has it. He has it because he never stopped building himself. He still wakes up with purpose. He still has things he is curious about. He still takes care of his body at the level he can. He still engages with life like it owes him nothing, and he owes it everything. He is not trying to be young. He is fully present in what he actually is. And that is irresistible. So here is what you actually do with all of this. Stop measuring your attractiveness by the calendar. Start measuring it by the depth of your investment in yourself. Are you building something? Are you thinking deeply? Are you in better physical condition than you were a year ago, or at minimum fighting to maintain it with full awareness of what you are doing and why? Are you still curious? Are you still becoming? That is the shift. Not a trick, not a tactic, a fundamental reorientation from passive aging to active becoming. Stop apologizing for your age in the way you carry yourself. There is a particular posture some men have, physically and emotionally, where everything about them says, I know I am past it, forgive me for existing. Stop that. The man who apologizes for existing is not attractive at 20, not attractive at 40, not attractive at 70. The man who is fully inhabited in his own body, his own life, his own convictions, that man is compelling at every age. Work on your presence. This is concrete. Slow down your speech. Make actual eye contact. Stop filling silences with nervous noise. Listen to what people are actually saying before forming your response. Take up space without apology, but also without performance. There's a difference between a man who needs to be seen and a man who simply is. Become the second one. Take the physical seriously. Not because women care about perfection, but because the man who takes care of his body is sending himself a signal every single day that he believes he is worth taking care of. That belief shows. It shows in how you walk. It shows in how you stand. It shows in how present you are in a conversation, because a man in good physical condition has more mental energy, more emotional availability, more of himself to give, and never, not at 30, not at 50, not at 80, never become a man without a mission. Purpose is the most attractive thing a man can carry. A man who wakes up with something to build, something to protect, something to pursue is a man who radiates forward motion. And forward motion at any age is magnetic. You are not too old for this. You have never been too old for this. The only thing that ages a man before his time is the decision to stop. The decision to believe that chapter is over before he has written it. Own your age like it is evidence of everything you have survived and built, because it is. Every year is not a subtraction, it is an accumulation. Let it show in your depth, your calm, your conviction. That is who you can be, not in spite of your age. Because of it, if this video cut through something for you, if it challenged the story you have been telling yourself for too long, then subscribe, not to boost numbers, but because this channel exists for men who want to grow past the easy narrative and build something real. That is the community here, and if that is you, you belong in it. Let us keep going.